the whale is saying, trust me, ride me, trust the momentum. This is not about surviving. This is about healing at a level that includes all beings and includes consciousness itself. Hello everyone, welcome to Soul Weather, your mid-month energy check-in. I'm Dany Lyne. I'm an intuitive, and for the last 20 years, I've been co-creating wellness and aligned manifestation with folks worldwide, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. In this series, I'm going to tap us into the main energy through line so that we can alchemize the expansions and the contractions of the life force into our sacred flow. Join my YouTube channel to get your mid-month energy check-in. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome. Soul weather in February this month is later than usual. I apologize for that. That said, I spent basically 3 weeks on the east coast of Australia and connecting very, very profoundly with the Pacific, that very specific body of water. And of course, that body of water has whales all over the place. I mean, including on that coast in Australia, and of course in Canada, and what have you, through Mexico. And so it's a very whale friendly environment, so to speak. And so I know I'm channeling whale today. And in my meditation this morning, she was really, as a spokesperson for the water element, coming in and saying, okay, I've been kind of saying the same thing for the last few transmissions, but what she's really pointing to right now is that folks are not connecting the dots to what that means in their lives, and therefore she's feeling like folks are not getting as much traction with this medicine and harnessing it efficiently, considering its power and considering its capacity to really support you at this tremendous transitional time, not just for you personally, but for your communities, for your nations, and for the world. It's big. I know a lot of people who channel are talking about this, people who are into astrology and are very dependable readers of astrological information, whether it's Vedic or Western. It's big. There's no question about it. And so in terms of the whale and the water element being the element that's governing this particular chapter for us in the northern hemisphere. Of course, southern hemisphere, they're in the fire season. But nonetheless, wherever you are, those elements are orchestrating your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual ecology. So I'll start. So whale is saying in all of the speed and momentum of the last transmission. I don't know if you've ever seen whales. They swim really fast. We're talking boats would have to be at really high speed to even try to keep up, and ultimately cannot keep up with whales. So it's not a coincidence that whale is talking to us, is the spokesperson for the water element right now. Because normally the water element is in its womb mode. So the fact that we're dealing with a massive fish that can, and mammal that can swim that fast, is right in there, is saying this ride is going and it's directional. So she's saying this is not just a migration, it's a migration at high speed. And that migration touches everything and everyone on the planet. So right now, if you're thinking, I'm taking a break and I'm going to be on the shore, and I'm going to let this energy go by, you're missing out on the healing and the potency of the moment. And you're actually thwarting your growth and your evolution and your well-being. It's not going to work. So she's saying the thing that I've been talking about is that we are on the surface swimming very fast with a lot of white water. If you remember, that's the image and that is the momentum of the transformation that's happening at a planetary, global, whatever woo level you want to think about, whatever your framework is, right? There's speed and it's happening. So that's the reflection of that. But the whale is saying, my teaching is for you to daily go down to the depths, to meditate and to tune in and to connect at spirit level, at soul level, at essence level, whatever language you want to use. What she's saying is that people are misunderstanding. They're saying, okay, so I'm busy in daily life. I need to meditate once a day. And they're looking at it as a structural, good advice for general well-being and to manage the energies. But what she's saying is, what she finds people are not really understanding is that when you're at the surface level, you're in one framework of reality, which your body will speak very loudly in that reality. We're talking about the most dense material aspect of life. It'll be your jobs, it will be your money, it'll be your houses, it'll be your bodies, right? It'll be the stuff. But when she's saying you need to deep dive every day, she's saying you need to find your way through the emotional, the mental, and then to go to the spiritual level every day. So to really take that in, and this morning in meditation, she was reminding me of my metaphor of our beings energetically being a bus. And the bus is broken up in 4 quadrants. At the front of the bus, there's of course the windshield, and there's the driver of the bus. And that's your high self, your spirit, your soul, whatever you want to call it. Then you have the mental quadrant, right? Your belief systems, your ideas about culture, what I call your passports, whether they be gender, whether they be beauty, and they're all race, right? All the stuff we've constructed as advantages, which are not advantages at all and are messing us all up. And then the emotional, and then the physical. And the physical is at the back of the bus, and the physical is what's at the back of the bus? The exhaust pipe. And therefore, you could say that the body, which seems to control everything, right? Which will include this whole material part of life, we feel controls everything. But it's actually only the exhaust pipe, and it expresses any of the disharmonies that are happening spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. So the idea of tackling the healing of your body so you can be better, so you can change your life, makes no sense, because it's precisely backwards. You're going to get better because you're more in alignment and your spirit is driving the bus and doing what it needs to be doing in alignment with whatever it is that the migration is at this particular time in history, when migration is the name of the game. So for all of us, this business of migration, this is profound, because normally when we're in the womb, you're kind of stewing in your own stuff, if you want, in the water season. Here you're out of the pot. You are in the massive ocean of the planet, and therefore you're in much vaster pool of energy that wants to help you, wants to support you, loves you, acknowledges you, and is trying to help you get your stuff organized in such a way that you can swim as fast as a whale. Not out of sheer survival, out of sheer enjoyment of your capacity to swim at that level. And the thing is that the whale is saying no one is forgotten. No one is abandoned here. More than ever, the momentum is so global that the planets are made of the elements, right? So what I'm talking about in water and what I see through the lens of the water element is when I listen to astrologers, I don't understand the Plutos and the blah blahs and the transits. I'm completely confused with all that stuff. But when I receive the essence of their message, the planets are made, of course, of water, just like the earth is mostly water, just like your body is mostly water. And so we're in that momentum. And people pick up on it. We all have different phone lines to describe that energy and that momentum that's very, very tangible and palpable right now. So the whale was saying last time, everybody's going to get wet. And that is the whole thing right now, is whether you decide you're going to go swimming or not, you will get wet. There is no staying outside of this momentum. That's how powerful it is, and that's how much everyone matters. Everyone matters. And think of all the political movement, Black Lives Matters, all the political movements and all the work that we're doing in the therapeutic circles. It's all about coming into recognition that you matter. And for you to recognize that within yourself and become a trustworthy steward. This is not, the whale is saying, this is not a fix-it energy. So if you're focusing on something that's a problem and you're trying to fix it, she says you're really minimizing the potency of that, because your fix-it mind is your ego and you're only seeing what's in front of your nose. The fix-it attitude is not coming from your soul. It's organized based on belief systems, based on emotions, based on, your protectors and your exiles and your architects of survival in my language, and traumatized astronauts and whatnot. And then it's reflecting physically. The whale is saying this energy is such a healing force that it's we can't even imagine what it's trying to fix with us and for us and through us in terms of this whole spectrum of reality. So the whale is saying, trust me, ride me. Trust the momentum, and then allow for all these architects of survival and all this fear of movement, this fear of change, all the ideas you have about change and what that does to you. Know that you've never changed at this time. You've changed in other times in the history of energy medicine, and you've changed when the planets were in completely a different place. So this idea of saying, being traumatized about what you went through in your last divorce, or what you went through when you got kicked out of your parents' house, or, all the big stuff that's happened, it's not relevant because the conditions in which you were doing it were completely different than now. For you personally, because there's no way you haven't evolved since then. Like, no way. And globally. And the whale is saying, I travel in pods. I'm an animal who functions in community. And she says the thing is when I'm swimming and I'm reminded of the Canadian geese and how they migrate and how they organize themselves to migrate, you're not alone in this. Like, what I'm being shown is everyone you know is in this moment, and therefore everyone in one way or another is in it with you, not against you, even though it might seem like if there's conflict in a relationship or whatever, everyone's in it. So the whale is saying, like, we are in this together, and we're not used to really understanding and living what that means, right? To belong, to be together, and to be in it, not just for our own well-being, but for our shared reality and our shared well-being. Your movement doesn't just benefit you. If you get on the whale and you ride and you go for this migration, you are helping everyone around you, and you're helping the energy express on the planet in this reality. And that's what will bring change. The whale is saying, it's like, it all seems very daunting, but actually what's going on, it's, she's showing me, it's like, road trip, and then everybody gets their gear and everybody crams into the car, and you have the snacks for the ride and whatever, and you're heading out on, a holiday, or you're all going on retreat together or whatever. It is that kind of energy. Ultimately, it's celebratory. And it's celebratory, especially to the driver of your bus, right? To the spirit aspect of your bus, because it's celebratory at that level. It's not necessarily your fix-it list that you're tackling as this is broken and this is broken and this is broken. This is the impulse of this migration, is from the wholeness that is in you. So it's coming from a place of a consciousness aspect of you that understands you are whole already. It's all there. What you're trying to do is bring these belief systems up to date. You're trying to bring those emotions and that healing up to date. And then you're lightening the load for what your body has to purge out of that exhaust pipe. So if you're not well physically and you're feeling fatigue's a big one. And I was just thinking, fatigue is huge right now, because when you're changing at that level, it's tiring. And so I think we all need more sleep. And I've mentioned several times, I've had to completely change what I eat to function well in this energy. So for me, it's no carbs, no wheat, no rice, no lentils, no nothing. Like, I've just completely stripped all that out, and then I can metabolize more efficiently and be in the movement of the energy with much less resistance and weight. So whatever that is for you, the fact that we have to make changes doesn't mean we're necessarily broken. It's just the energy is so strong that to meet it and to metabolize it, we need to look at what we put in our bodies, what kind of fuel we think is fuel. So the whale is saying that if you're concentrating on the physical quadrant and the fatigue and the exhaust pipe, think about it. I was just thinking about it this morning. It's exhaustion, exhaust. I don't think that's a coincidence. So if you're very exhausted, it's because the fumes coming through that pipe are dense and toxic. So it's telling you that in the other quadrants of your bus, there are issues that you're just weighed down by. And therefore you're metabolizing and having to deal with all this toxicity. The more your bus driver is in alignment, the more you see clearly, and the more you act from that place and steer that bus, the exhaust will thin out, and therefore the demands and the shift on your body will be less. So the body right now, if it's not well, it's because you're not on track in the migration. Like it's not, I'll fix the physical, right? And then I'll move on. It's the other way around. The more you make the right choices, the more you align with what's moving through you right now, the more ease you will feel, and the less loudly your body will have to scream at you. Your body's not your enemy. Your body is voicing. It's showing you something's off. So the body isn't a machine that is a pesky machine that is breaking down. It is a consciousness working with you to help you receive and align spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. What else in the material world is spirit gonna scream at you with? Like, that's all it's got is your body. That's how it gets your attention. So the whale is saying, this is such a moment of consciousness shifting, so that this attitude of thinking and the habit of thinking that your body is a machine that's working against you and breaking down, and separating it from your emotions and your mental and your spiritual, that is an old habit. And we're moving toward a level of wholeness and consciousness that really is pushing against this old way of thinking. So the whale is saying what we're doing daily in swimming through the white water and all the stuff that's going on, right? However loud your body is screaming, however loud you're responding to your job, to your relationships, to the stuff of your life up here, she's saying every day you have to move through those layers. But in moving through those layers down, you're moving to a different level of consciousness where you are reminded every day, who is the bus driver? That's where you're going to find your agency. It's where you're going to find your sovereignty. It's where you're going to find that wholeness. It's where you're going to find justice. And it's where you're going to find that unconditional love and unconditional abundance and loving kindness. And then as you swim back up, you're taking all that and threading it through your mental, emotional, and physical world. And then you have another 23 hours to test that ride until you meditate and go in your deep dive for an hour again. And then you look at how that went. So she says what she's witnessing is going down below. People interpret it as, I'll calm down, I'll feel better. And it's almost like they're still trying to fix the piece that's at the surface, and they're just doing something so the surface feels better. But they're not, she's saying it's like, it's really a consciousness shift, so that when you're going through the emotional layer, you're witnessing trauma for what it is. You're witnessing protectors and architects of survival for what they are. You're witnessing your unconscious biases and those old belief systems that are still controlling you. And then you reach the bus driver who actually knows better. And then you let whatever needs to be rejigged, and then go back up for your test drive. So yes to mindfulness, and yes to mindfulness meditation, and in a sense to the concrete feel-goodness of that kind of practice. Absolutely. But not anchoring in it, from what the whale is saying, not plugging into that as a tool to survive, but plugging into it at a level where it's going to be a tool to thrive. Because she's saying a lot of people are approaching mindfulness in the fix-it attitude. And right now, you know, your fix-it list, she says, you have no idea what we're working on, us whales and us beings in this consciousness, in terms of what we're trying to support humanity in its transformation, in its rising of its ability to manifest loving kindness. Not just as a band-aid so you feel better through your day, but as an energy to rebuild your entire being, and with it, the being of the world. So she's saying that the survival mode here, which she's been going on about this whole water season, the architects of survival have not been our friends. They're being pointed to all the time, because that approach is thwarting your capacity to ride this current. This is not about surviving. This is about healing at a level, all caps, at a level that includes all beings and includes consciousness itself, which your bus driver is already there. It's, you have to figure out how to connect to that part of yourself and trust that it's there. The whale is saying, your bus driver is the whale already. There's just noise and gack and all kinds of stuff in between. And that, she says, is the white water. So just in closing, she's saying that the white water at the surface right now, what's showing up for you, it's the stuff that's in your way. It's very, very pointed, like what's being shown to you in terms of what's in your way. And it's in your way in terms of rising of consciousness, of healing at a very, very deep level. The whale is saying, it's like, you know, you've heard and you've seen and you can imagine the healers and the medicine women and men in indigenous communities that are still, you know, plugged in and connected to nature and observing nature and working with nature. You know, when you emerge into the world and it becomes clear that your job on the planet and in your community is to be the medicine woman or man who connects and talks to the whales so that your community hunts one whale a year to sustain itself through the winter. You got a serious job. Your whole community depends on you to be in communion with the whales, and the whales themselves will choose which whale will offer its life to your community. It's a very complex process. And then one day, and then you're eating the things that will keep your heart and mind clear. You're meditating on the beach all year round. You're in charge. You're the person who is the bridge between the whales and your community. And one morning you hear that the whales have the whale for you, for your community. And so you organize the team and you go out and the whale just comes and meets you. It's that level of cooperation and very complex dynamics. We are all that medicine person. We all matter at that level. Don't get confused by modernity and cars and buildings and driving down the road and feeling like one of the ants in the ant hive. That doesn't matter. We need to go back to the fact that we all are here. And if we connect to that bus driver, we connect to as essential a momentum as what we can imagine that particular kind of medicine person and the role they have in their community. So the whale is saying we're all, by virtue of being alive, we're all in that medicine. We're all carrying it for ourselves, for our community, and for the world. So she says it's really, really important right now to acknowledge resources and what those resources are that have been mysteriously interweaving and putting you where you are right now. And she's showing me the fabric. I should know this. I was a costume designer, but the two directions of the threads. And she's saying when you take into account all of these threads, the ones going one way are what you consider what happened to you in the last 6 years, 7 years, that was good. But the threads going the other way, all the challenges are building the same fabric. And that whole fabric is what's supporting you in this time right now. And so she's saying one of the ways to look at it is to really start looking at how you think the bad things are and the good things are, and let them merge together in a fabric, and know that that fabric is the safety net that we're all craving, is the fabric that supports you, that has your back. All of it. And it's very moving, because how are we supposed to know that we're going to go into the world and help anti-Semitism reduce? How are we going to know that we have to participate in Black Lives Matter? How do we know we have to participate in supporting people with sexual abuse except to have been in it? Like, what, you know what I mean? Like, how the whale is saying that's the water. And that's the information at heart level that we all need to understand how important loving kindness is, and how we're going to be part of the engine and the fabric that brings that. That stuff is not there to sink us. It's there to help us understand and come to that clarity, so that our bus driver has one mission. It's simple: loving kindness. And to say thank you for everything that has brought you to the clarity that love and kindness is the way. It's powerful. Just letting that whale energy come in. She's very yang today. Just letting it move through you and just allowing for that wisdom, that love, and that passion. Letting it move through all your cells and your tissues and your organs. Know that the power that's there is there for you, with you, and with love. And she's saying with clarity. She just gave me the eye, like clarity. Namaste.
Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.